morning, Nigeria. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mohammed Ali Obaka. Today we are going to talk about governance in Kogi State. This is our topic, and we have our brother here who is going to do justice to it. We have Enemama Akubo. Mr. Enemama Akubo, you are welcome, sir. You agree with me that we have serious issues, governance issue in Kogi State. I want to even ask you, what is even governance?
Governance simply means bringing the dividends of democracy to the people at the grassroots. When we say dividend of democracy, that is not what you promise, but what is expected to come to the people in order to better their lives, their condition of life. So, governance is all about the people, giving them what they want, when they want it, and how it is supposed to be given to them.
What are the compositions of Kogi State?
Thank you. From your question, you know, propaganda, let's say political propaganda, they believe that Kogi State is made up of what? 3 tribes, that is the Gala, the Ibira, and the Okuns. But actually, if you come to Kogi State, you now realize that Kogi State has other, should I say, sorry for using that word, minority tribes, like the Basa and the Kakandas. All of them combine together to make what Kogi is.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the current security situation in Kogi State?
Just like every state in Nigeria, I get it. Security challenges are normal challenges that government face. But what matters is how the government tackles that security challenges. First of all, I could remember that when the administration of Yahya came into being, I'm not talking about the past administration now. I'm talking about the second, let me say what they call second term.
Okay.
What politically they divide to mean second term. So when it came into board, there was a lot of challenges. A lot of challenges, like a lot of security challenges on ground.
Okay.
But the prominent one was kidnapping along highway, killing, and the rest. The administration was able to tackle some of those security challenges, but there were those that requires collaboration with the federal government. And I could remember that this present administration entered into some security arrangement with the Nigerian Navy, with the Nigerian Army, and then the Nigerian police. That yielded at least some positive results. It curbed some of the menial crimes in the states. I got now reposition the state up to the extent that they were praising the state as security-wise. But up till now, we have to tell ourselves the truth. There are a lot of challenges which involves kidnapping, especially along Okene-Abuja highway. And that, I will be too sentimental to say is the work of the state government alone. It has to do with a collaborative effort with the federal government, and which I'm sure actions are being taken. But still yet, we still have some security challenges in the state, which the government has to sit down, go back to the drawing board, and then figure out those challenges so that life will be peaceful for everybody in Kogi State.
Okay, in terms of development now, how can you compare the former administration, starting from Prince Abakaraudu, Ebru, and that of Wada? How can you compare their governance and today's governance?
Now,
or the current one?
The question, yeah, I love this question. I like this question because it is a question that gingers me to bring out the truth. The truth is that what we have now is what we call in comparative politics paradigm shift. That is a paradigm shift in governance. Are you getting it?
Okay.
There was a shift from what was done before to what is being done now. So that's what we call paradigm shift, a shift in development agendas. Now, let's be frank. If we are to analyze all this administration now, you are now forcing me into what we call comparative analysis, yes, which I may not have all the data, because we are talking about administration from 1999 up to now. But let me try my own best. Okay. Now look at during Audu administration, because when the country returned to democracy, Audu was the person that they gave the mandate. They handed the mandate back to him. He was mostly concerned with infrastructural development of the state. That is the era that we now witness the springing up of Kogi State University, The Complex Beach Hotel, the general hospitals, different hospitals were built at different locations. But his own shortcoming was, one of his own shortcomings was he neglected the human capital development aspect. That's especially when it comes to the civil servants.
Okay.
There was a time that the civil servants went to him and said, "Why are you paying us? What about our salaries?" And I would answer them that all these buildings that you see that I'm doing, do you think the money comes from where? We have to sacrifice one thing for the other. That was Audu's perspective. Ibro,
Are you saying Audu was owing salary during his time?
Audu, that is a normal phenomenon in Kogi State. So we have to now take non-payment of salary as normal abnormality in Kogi State. It should be taken as normal abnormality because all government that came in Kogi State have issue with salaries with workers. No one was a saint. Are you getting it?
Okay.
Now, when Ibro took over, he the same, he consolidated on what Audu was doing. Are you getting it? Okay. Now, one of the features of Ibro administration then was that he was accused of breeding talks.
Okay.
Are you getting it? Which he used for his political whatsoever and the rest. But all this, they were seen as a form of empowering those people that time. You get it? So Audu was basically talking about infrastructural development while Ibro brought about what we call infrastructural development and a form of human capital development. Can you see? Okay. Because at this stage, after Ibro left, Kogi State found itself in what we call a gradual fall in human capital development, which led to widespread poverty, hunger in that state. Despite the fact that there was abundance, only God knew where those abundances were going. Now, it now came to the issue of Wada. Wada administration, nobody could say this is what happened. It was a system of confusion.
Okay.
If I should borrow that word, it was a system of confusion. There was no clear point ideology of where Wada was going. He said that it was an era that criticism, propaganda, and let me say political witch hunting started in Kogi State. Everybody was trying to go to become either a sycophant of the government or a critic of the government. Nobody concentrated on issue of what? Infrastructural development, neither were the human capital aspect. There were a lot of programs. Let me say there were some programs that taught about maybe all those kind, let me say things like Wudu empowerment, what do you call it? There was a center that was built by Wada in order to give out, what do you call it, to train people like in Kogi State, okay. This thing. Then, all this could not solve the situation. Are you getting it? The confusion continues. Kogi State, instead of becoming united in terms of development, became separated in terms of ethnic line. There was a wide gap, a wide wound was opened, in the sense that it was believed that power must what? Change hand. Okay. Power must change to other region. That was the agitation that time. But fortunately for Wada, he could not win the second term. So here come the administration. He was defeated by the incumbent governor now. Now, that was where the issue of paradigm shift came along. Because the governor that took over was not the regular ethnic governor of Kogi State, that is the Igala people. There was a change. So he now came with his own ideology, with his own clique, because they believe that it is now time for the youth to move the state forward. And that was what they now based on. They now brought what we call a blueprint that they used to govern Kogi State. But unfortunately for them, I don't know whether it was because of the youthful exuberance that was in them, or because of the intellectual ability that was abundant within them. They now developed what we call a blueprint. And even they studied that blueprint enough, they will have understood that even 2% of that blueprint could not be achieved, even within 5 or 6 years. Are you getting it? But they now pointed it out to Kogi. They now gave them false hope. Months into the administration, what happened? People were frustrated. People were tired. The government was confused. instead of it, out of its confusion, it now set up what? It now pinpointed erroneously that one of the problem of Kogi State was civil servants. And that was what caused the major problem that the government was having with the people. People believed that the government was anti-people. So whatever the government does, people see it as what? Nothing, because they believe that it's attacking them. So apart from that one, the screening exercise was conducted, and in fact, it was a good omen for Kogi State, because at that time when Yahya Bello came, the state civil servant was overpopulated. The civil servants were redundant. Some were staying in Lagos, some were staying in Abuja. Are you getting it? So everything was, in fact, that screening was what was meant at that time. But the question was how, when, and where it was done. That was where the error came. But thank God they scaled through the exercise. The administration now finished the next 4 years, and it was termed as one of the worst administration.
Okay, meaning
Yahya Bello administration of present. Yes.
New direction government.
Fine. Because what Kogi State expected was not what we are getting that time.
Okay.
But that was subject to what? To me, it was subject to political analysis and common sense. Why? Why do I say so? Because to some people it was good, to some people it wasn't good. Those beneficiaries see that government as a good one. But majority of Kogi State people denied that administration, that they wanted change. But unfortunately, when the election came, he came back for the second time. Now, the present administration is still Yahya Bello, but the analysis simply means you have to question on the months that he has spent now, because I can't crucify him based on what he has done in the past. But it's still the same governance. But now look at it. He's coming back now, showed that he has an intention, he has a mission, and he has a vision for Kogi State. Now, to be sincere, he's coming back now. I saw 2 gigantic projects that he has passed the law, or should I say a project or a policy. That's talking about the Kogi State University and the other project. I've forgotten the other project. Was at Osara. Okay. Are you getting it? Now, the question is that why do I commend such policies of government? It's simple as that. We have another state university. Critics, should I say critics, will say we have another state university. Why doesn't he maintain that one? Why is it that he's going to open another university? No, it's not bad. If a state can accommodate like 10 universities, there is nothing bad in that, as far as the funding is there. That is it. My friend, Kogi State, to me, as for now, the paradigm shift is taking effect, and Kogi State is now at least at the verge of working. Development cannot be reversed, but rather it can be progressive. And that is what is happening in Kogi.
Okay, God bless you. This is how far we can go on this governance. Mr. Cooper, thank you very much for coming to our show.
Thank you.
We,
God bless.
by God's grace, we appreciate if you come to this program again.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.